Kelsey, just another really good scoring game for you tonight, and the first quarter especially, the whole team really just seemed to come out firing. How do you personally like get in your headspace to where you know you're gonna shoot the ball well?
Just kind of feed off the energy of the game and how it's going. I feel like as long as I find my spots and kind of like be where I'm supposed to be based on the space on the floor, obviously I just, stick to my game, but to the point where I just try to fill in the gaps based on where my teammates are.
And then obviously 3 All-Stars on this team, but also when you add in Melissa, like this is a very young team, but a good young team.
Yeah.
I think there was 3 people tonight with 20 plus points, 3 with double doubles. What does it say about this team where you guys are all able to perform so well, even with being so young?
I think that we're limitless. I think that the youth in us can kind of keep us going. And the maturity behind our youth is underrated. These guys, it's not that first rodeo, even though they're rookies, even though they're young players. You can tell they have the maturity level to kind of stay resilient and battle down a stretch of games. And so I can appreciate that, especially with a quote-unquote young team, because like I said, the chemistry that we have and we're developing now, you can't tell that we're young. We're just trying to figure it out day by day, but the youth has less to do with it. These guys they've established a pro for sure.
Go Matt and Chloe.
Yeah, Caitlin, you were threading the needle a lot tonight, Kelsey to Aliyah. Was there something just different about your game tonight being a point guard in a good way?
I thought we just came out and played really aggressive. I think that was, kind of our mission from the jump was come out and attack, and that's what we did for 3 quarters. I thought our 4th quarter was a bit disappointing, but it's hard to attack and transition when you can't stop the ball. We didn't get stops on defense, but overall I thought we played 3 quarters of really good basketball, especially offensively, and then 2 good quarters in the first half, especially on defense.
Go Chloe, then Dion back right.
Yeah, Kelsey, I kind of wanted to ask you the other side of that, just what was working between you and Caitlin for you to be able to grab those balls and get those easy buckets?
The one thing I can appreciate about Kayla is her vision and her ability to kind of get the ball up the floor. You don't see it a lot, and so I can appreciate it because I can utilize what I'm kind of decent at, and that's running. So if I'm open and I feel like I'm in a position to kind of, assist her or her assist me, I think we kind of play really good basketball that way.
Go Dion.
Dion Cash, Fox Sports. Do you think that for the 3 quarters, both of you ladies, that this was the best offensive game that you had as a unit? And I talked to you guys at the beginning of the year, and I thought it was, the synergy between you, Aliyah, and Caitlin. Do you feel like you guys are kind of getting to that level now where you guys could be thought of as one of the best trios in the league?
I definitely think that we've kind of balanced out how we can all feed our games off one another, and it kind of plays in our favor because I don't think that we go out there with a mindset of like, I don't want to play with this person, I want to play with that person. I think that we gel really well naturally based on what we do individually and how we can accumulate it together as a group. But I would say like us as a team, I think it's going to start to put the league on notice because our grit, our resiliency down the stretch of games, and I think that we can do better competing. But I think that we have been in the trenches enough to know that we can kind of win some of these games.
Good.
Best game of the season, well, for 3 quarters. I think it was the best.
I like 4 quarters, 3 quarters.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all I got.
3, okay.
Don, go ahead.
Yeah, Caitlin, assists are one thing, but it just feels like, how much pride do you take in setting your teammates up so perfectly with the precision of your passes, and just, it seems like they're not just assists, they're like very special assists in that way. How much pride do you take as a point guard in doing that?
Yeah, it's so fun, like just getting to pick apart the defense, especially when like we get stops on defense and get to go in transition. Like I just get excited, and like honestly, like a lot of my turnovers, that's where they come from. Like just trying to play exciting basketball in transition. But I mean, I don't know. Like at times, I feel like I can almost overpass because like I want to set them up so badly that like I almost kind of lose vision of like the basket at times, or like I'm almost thinking like to pass the ball and kind of forget about shooting it at times. But I don't know, I think it adds a whole other dimension of what the defense kind of has to scheme for. Is like, I'm going to try to set up my teammates the best I can, but at the same time I want to be able to score the ball. So the more I can do that, the better it's going to be for our team overall.
Go Matt and Kelsey.
Yeah, Caitlin, you were matched up with Celeste pretty often tonight. I guess, what was that kind of like, just to go up against your former teammate 3 weeks later?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm happy for her though. She's a tremendous player and obviously a tremendous person. And I had so much fun when she was here with us in Indy, and she was a heck of a teammate. And I think that's a great person to sign. She's somebody that's just going to work as hard as possible. Like I know she just got with them yesterday, and I thought she honestly came out and played a really good game. She only had 1 point, but like she was a +10 in a game at a point where we're up 30. So. That's just Celeste. Like I've been her teammate multiple times. She's going to do a lot of different things on the floor and play as hard as she can. So I'm just really happy for her.
Let's do Kelsey and Kyle.
For both of you or either of you, we've talked about the highs and lows of this group. One of those lows was on Wednesday. Just what impressed you guys the most of being able to take one day off and come out and respond with a win?
I think this league is one of those leagues where you can't necessarily dwell on, past games. And I think all we could have done based on how we played Wednesday was kind of flush it. But I think it shows to that resiliency I was telling you guys about earlier, and that toughness. This game is mental more than it is physical. I always tell people that this is a mental game, and I think mentally we was able to switch focuses and turn our page to Friday, and I think it showed it in the game today.
Kyle, last one.
Caitlin, I talked with Brittany before the game, and she kind of just commended and applauded the way that you've been able to transition into the WNBA while also kind of handling the fame and attention that comes with it. Just to hear that from a veteran and an all-time great like that, what does that mean for you?
Yeah, it's super kind, and she said the same thing to me when we played in Phoenix earlier this year, and it's just something you appreciate. Like as long as I've watched this league, like she's been a staple in this league and been absolutely tremendous. So for her to say that is not something you take lightly, and just something I really appreciate.
Coach, tonight I think was the first game for both of these stats where you guys had 3 players with 20+ points, and then also 3 players who had double doubles. When you have that type of production from 4 different players, what does that say about the kind of well-roundedness of this team?
I mean, right now, I mean, that's incredible, and that just shows like what we're capable of. For me right now, it's giving up 36 points in 11 minutes. So that's what we've got to figure out. I haven't been here when we've been up 31 points. And when you do that, you have to figure out a way to hold that and just finish the game. And so that is where, as a coach, that's where I'm at. But it's incredible, to have players that can put up those many points and be able to rebound the basketball. That's where I'm at.
And then just one more I feel like Caitlin and Aliyah get so much of the buzz surrounding this team, but for Kelsey to consistently go out there and score like she does and play at such a high level, what do you just have to say about her effort and her production this year?
Kelsey is one of the most dynamic guards in this league, one of the best guards in this league. She is playing so efficient right now with the players that are around her. She comes in she is a professional basketball player and does her job every day. Really proud of her consistency and what she's done for us. But yeah, just a dynamic guard that can get downhill, create, and then finish at the rim, kick to shooters. Like she just collapses the defense.
Matt and Chloe.
Yeah, Caitlin had another 13 assists tonight. It just seemed like she was making some really remarkable passes. Did you notice maybe a step up or more dynamic passes, just improvement from that aspect of her game?
Yeah, I don't know if it's more dynamic or more. I think she just does what she does. I mean, she's got the ability to draw, several defenders, and she has got a crazy eye for her teammates and where they are and moving and able to make passes that some people, in the first half, my gosh, she dropped 2 down to some post players. I don't know who could have made that pass. I mean, that's just what she's capable of.
Go Chloe, then we'll go in the back.
Yeah, you mentioned those 36 points in the last 12 minutes. Just what can you take from that to improve for Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, that's our defense. It started with us not handling their zone very well. They went zone and we just kind of, we didn't take wide open shots. We were getting wide open shots, we weren't finishing them. And then we weren't getting back and guarding, like we just couldn't get matched up with who we were supposed to. And then I told him at the end of the third, like, these guys can shoot the basketball. They have the ability to put the ball in the hole. They can get a lot of points. Kalia Copper's an unbelievable player. She made things happen for them. So that's just us being up 31, able to finish out a game the way we should have. And that's just what we need to to talk about and figure out.
Going back,
Hey, Coach, this is your last home game in over a month. I know you got your 2-game road trip to cap off before the break actually goes on, but what does it mean for you and for this program to have such passion rally behind this momentum that you're starting to gain?
Yeah, we're just constantly trying to get better. That's our goal. As a young team in this league, the goal is just to get better. And to when you do things like what we just talked about with letting them score 36 points, we got to figure out how to not let that happen. I mean, we haven't been in this position where we were up 31, but you can't let that kind of lead go. Especially, they cut it to 6. That's just unacceptable. So we have to figure out how that happened and not let that happen again.
Kelsey.
You said before the game you wanted to see what you saw in that fourth quarter on Wednesday in this game, and you started on such a fast jump. How satisfying was it to come out with a lot of energy?
Yeah, no, that's what I told them. These guys, I told them they were hungry in the fourth, and we had to continue that for these 4 quarters. And I think we really did that for 3. Up until the last 2 minutes of the 3, I think that's where we were. But yeah, that is the energy and focus that you have to have, and you have to sustain that for 40 minutes. Like, you can't have the drop-offs.
And you mentioned the break that's coming up. How big was this win, and then what kind of emphasis is on the last 2 games, wanting to end on a high note before the break?
Yeah, just, you want to make sure you win the games at home that you're supposed to win. We're fighting for, our goal is to make the playoffs. So, we took care of business tonight. Now we have to go on the road and try to close these 2 out. And then it's just going to be a great opportunity for some players that just need, not just a break physically, but mentally as well. So really looking forward to that, and then getting an opportunity to really get some good practices in during this break. But we're not on break yet. And that's what I keep telling them. We still have 2 games. It's a late night. We have an early day tomorrow. We head straight to Minnesota, and then back home and then to Dallas. So we just got to make sure we're taking care of what we need to look at tonight to make sure we don't let it happen again.
Let's finish down Chloe, then Matt.
Yeah, Coach, it just feels like Wednesday and today were polar opposites. First 3 quarters good, last one bad, and vice versa. Just kind of like Jekyll and Hyde, even with the questions, feels like what was good and then what was not so good. What do you, I guess, place more value on, and what contributed to both in this game, I guess?
I think our defense in the first 3 quarters, up until the last 2 minutes, I think they went on an 8-0 run into third. I think our defense, we were following the scouting report. We were doing the defensive schemes that we needed to do. Hate it for BG. I hope she's okay. But we did an excellent job. And then we just didn't do what we were doing for 3 quarters. And then, Washington, we didn't do what we were supposed to do for 3 quarters and then do it for 1 quarter. And we put ourselves in a position to win the game. So that is just what we have in our locker room, what that looks like for the future, the ability. We've just got to clean up some things and learn from some things and not let those same things happen. We're the youngest experienced team in the league, by far. We've got to not have those lapses, that are letting people get back within 6. And that just can't happen.
Chloe, then Matt.
Yeah, Christie didn't play at all tonight. Was there any kind of little injury, or was it just a coach's decision?
No, it was just how things were playing out and just what we felt.
Matt.
Yeah, Lexi may not have made a shot tonight, but it seemed like in the first quarter, first half, she came out with a lot of energy, I guess. How responsible is she for having such a good first half?
Lexi, just like I said, whenever I have the opportunity to talk about her, she is going to give you deflection. She's going to guard the best player on the court. She's going to try to take charges. She just does what we're asking her to do, and that, she's filling a role and she's doing a great job with it. I actually didn't even realize she didn't make a shot. I hadn't really looked at the stat sheet because I'm still, I'm coming within 6. So, but I think she took some good shots, and she has to continue to take those good shots. She's also does a great job of when she dribble penetrates, she's got to find open shooters, and when she gets to the rim, she's got to finish or draw fouls. She's just active and aggressive, and that's always going to, benefit when you're that, instead of not being on the aggressive side.